Will Edison Cavani make the trip? Will anybody be unavailable for the game?
No, Eddie will not be able to make the trip. He didn't train, and he has not been training for the last couple of weeks, so he will not be part of the group.
Is it a concern? Because it sounded like it's become an issue that you weren't really expecting to be this bad.
Well, he has problems with his groin, and as long as he does not feel able to fully sprint, it does not make sense to train him and to force him back into training. And I think he's got enough experience to know by himself if he's fully available again.
Simon Stone.
Just a couple for Bruno, please. The last couple of games, the team seems to have played a lot better. Has that built some confidence ahead of clearly one of the most important games of the season?
So I think the team has been playing well, even in games that we didn't win. Obviously, when you don't get the results, it's not perfect for you, and obviously we know that. Honestly, winning games give you more confidence, and going through this game that is important for us and a difficult one. Obviously, we know that having that confidence of winning games give you something more to be prepared for the game, to be more focused and understand that if we do the right things and the things that we work to do, and if we stick to the plan from the first until the last minute, we can win the game.
Could I just ask you, as one of the senior players, most influential players in the squad, there's been a lot of talk about unity or lack of unity, and maybe players going in different directions. What does it feel like from the inside? Because clearly you need to be moving in the same direction if you're going to have any chance of success.
I don't know what people mean to that, honestly. I think I was doing an interview now, and they asked me about Jadon doing my celebration. I don't think that is something that is going in different ways. I saw the game, the goal of H, and I'm seeing Paul running behind him, sliding on his knees, happy for him. Everyone, I was slapping his head and saying that finally you score with that big head. So I think honestly it's just people trying to complain and making histories about this club, because we know that when someone talk about this club or about some player of this club, they go around the world with their voice, and is that something that they want? So for us means nothing, and for us, as I said before, as we stick to the plan and as we stick together is the main thing. Losing together and winning together.
Michael Gray.
Hi, Ralph. If I could ask you a question, Ralph. Over the Brighton game and Leeds at the weekend, are we now starting to see the fighting spirit that we expected to see from your side as a Manchester United coach?
Well, I think we also showed it in earlier games, in the games before that. But in the end, as Bruno just said it's also about getting the right result. And in the last two games, we just made sure that we rewarded ourselves with 3 points in both games. And this is what it will also be important for the future, for the Champions League games against Atletico, but also for the upcoming games in the Premier League. It's not only about playing well for 45 or 60 minutes, which we did also in the games before those two games, but it's also about getting the result.
Elaine Balaguer.
Hello, it's a question for the manager, please. Basically, when you had such a little amount of time to prepare for a game like this, what's your role? What's the important thing? Is it the tactics? Make sure that they rest. The psychology part of it. What's the most important part for you?
Well, in Champions League, you need to perform on the highest possible level in all those areas that you just mentioned. Of course, we had a game on Sunday, a very physical one. Atletico played away at Osasuna on Saturday, so there might be a slight advantage with regard to recovery on their side, but we obviously made sure that the players could recover in the last 2 days, and maybe we will have some fresh legs on the pitch. We will see tomorrow. And obviously, yeah, we need to play tactically on a high level, physically, mentally. We need to be prepared for a very emotional, if not even hostile atmosphere in that stadium. Some of our players will not be received with a red carpet, obviously. So, yeah, this is what we're all aware of. But I think we have enough experience in the team, and on the other hand, also enough talented young players. I think the mix of those two groups is perfect. And we're looking forward to that game. This is why we're all here and why we love this ball game, in order to play like in stadiums like tomorrow, and then in 2 weeks when we have, or in 3 weeks when we have the second leg to play at Old Trafford. For tomorrow, it's about getting the best possible result. I don't think that the game and the fixture will be decided tomorrow. It will be decided in the second leg at Old Trafford.
David McDonald.
It's a question for Ralph. Ralph, you've said that finishing fourth is the priority this season. To what extent is the Champions League a distraction in that sense? Because some of your rivals for fourth spot in the Premier League aren't in Europe, so that could give them an advantage in the run-in. Is the Champions League, in that sense, a kind of distraction for you?
No, the Champions League can never be a distraction. That's why the team qualified and were desperate to qualify for this season's Champions League. And if we want to qualify for the Champions League next season, how can it then be a distraction once you're in the playoffs? This is why we are playing here and why we're all here working for this club. We want to play Champions League, and we are playing tomorrow against one of the best teams in Europe. And of course, we want to show everybody that we are able to beat this team. By the way, it's still, maybe it's not the biggest chance, but it's still a chance. If you win the Champions League, you can also qualify for the Champions League. But in order to do that, we have to first make sure that we play 2 top games against Atletico, and hopefully at the end of those 2 games be able to proceed into the next round.
Gary Cottrell.
Thanks, guys. A question for Ralph and Bruno, if possible. It's the same question. I know the final is a long way away, but of course Manchester United will be aiming to be in the Champions League final. With all the uncertainty in Eastern Europe at the moment, would you feel comfortable playing a game in Russia, in St. Petersburg?
Well, it's still a long way until the final. So, and if we are to have a chance, we need to beat Atletico first. And we are fully aware that this is not the easiest of all draws that we could get. And what would happen then, this is something for UEFA and maybe even for some politicians to decide upon. I think we all hope, not only here in England, but in the whole of Europe, if not in the rest of the world, that things will de-escalate. Nobody could really be interested in a sort of war within Europe. So, and this is more important actually than a Champions League game, if we're honest.
Rob Dawson.
Hi, it's a question for Ralph, if possible. United are routinely called one of the biggest clubs in the world, but over the last 10 years haven't been beyond the quarterfinals of the Champions League. Do you think that a club has to be in sort of the last 8, the last 4, reaching Champions League finals to be considered one of the biggest in the world?
Sorry, I didn't quite understand the question at the end. Say it again, please.
Does a club have to be regularly in the last 4, in the last 8 of the Champions League to be considered one of the biggest in the world?
Yeah, but we also have to be realistic. There have to be some reasons why it wasn't the case in the past, and we should not too much be interested in what happened in the last 5, 6, 7, 8 years. Future and normal life is in the present tense, and maybe in the next couple of days and weeks. So yeah, we have the chance to proceed into the quarterfinals of the Champions League, but in order to do that, we have to show that we are up for that we can beat Atletico Madrid, and then if we manage to do that, this will give us another boost. This will raise the level of confidence of the players, obviously, and then yeah, we will see what will happen then. But to say that a club like Manchester United should regularly be in the semi-finals of the Champions League, I could recall or name you quite a few other clubs in Europe where this would also be the case, and some of them even play in the second division. In Germany, I can tell you 3 or 4 clubs where this is the case.
Pablo Higuera. You don't want one. Okay, so we go Diego Plaza.
Sí, aquí, no sé si me escuchan. Buenas tardes, Diego Plaza del Chiringuito. Una pregunta para Bruno, para el futbolista. Yo quería preguntarte por tu compatriota y tu compañero de la selección, Joao Félix, que te vas a enfrentar a él. No sé si crees que la situación que está viviendo Joao Félix en el Atlético, donde no está mostrando todo su potencial, ¿qué consejo le darías? Si es un problema del club, si es un problema del futbolista y cuánto te preocupa mañana.
Entonces, yo no sé quién es el problema. Yo lo que sé es que Joan tiene una calidad increíble. Es un jugador con un potencial enorme. Es muy joven todavía. Es que a veces nos olvidamos de la edad de él. No entendemos que está todavía en una fase de crecimiento. Cuando lo compró Atlético, había apenas hecho 6 meses de titular en la primera división en Portugal por Benfica. Eso ya te demuestra la calidad que tiene el jugador, porque no es cualquier club que paga por él lo que ha pagado. Sabiendo también que no era el único club que estaba por detrás de él, por eso pagarán tanto para tenerlo al más rápido posible. Obviamente después las calidades de él tienen que venir al conjunto del equipo, ¿no? Toda la gente sabe lo que pide Simeone, que era un equipo agresivo, que pueda defender. Sabemos todos que él es un jugador técnico, que puede defender también, yo creo que él puede correr, puede ayudar, pero es un jugador que yo creo que necesita libertad, pero no sé lo que va dentro del club, por eso no puedo comentar eso, ¿sabes? Yo te digo por lo que he visto en Benfica, lo que he visto en Benfica para mí es un jugador que puede llegar a un nivel que pocos pueden para mí. Creo que tiene todas las calidades posibles para llegar. Creo que más tarde o más temprano lo va a hacer, sea en el Atlético o en el otro lugar, que yo no sé. Yo hablo con él y hablo por su vida personal, no hablo por el fútbol, no quiero comentar lo que vaya ahí, porque no creo que entre nosotros jugadores debemos comentar lo que va en los otros clubes. Por eso yo cuando hablo con él son por cosas personales, de estar de broma con él, y ya está. No tengo ese tipo de conversaciones con él para decirte lo que va dentro del club, lo que piensan, lo que quieren. Por eso no sé. Lo que sé es que es un muy buen tío y que tiene mucha calidad y que seguro, sea en el Atlético o en otro lugar, va a ser una gran carrera. Se sigue con la cabeza buena como tiene.
Chris Quattro.
Sí, hola, ¿qué tal? Muy buenas. Yo quería haceros una pregunta a ambos porque esta temporada se está criticando mucho la temporada del Atlético, el juego del Atlético. Me gustaría que me valoraseis cómo veis el equipo esta temporada y si os da menos miedo que otras temporadas, si estáis de acuerdo con estas críticas de que este Atlético es más flojo.
Wanna go, boss, or want me to go? Can I go? Entonces, yo creo que todos los años se critica Atlético. De verdad, es que no veo un año que el Atlético no venga criticado por la manera como juega, como hacen las cosas. Pero la verdad es que desde que llegó Simeone, el Atlético empezó a ganar muchas cosas. Igual que la gente diga que juega un buen fútbol, un fútbol menos bonito, o como lo quieran llamar, lo que quieran decir, lo más importante es que llega al final, que siempre está ahí peleando por ganar la liga, peleando por ganar la copa, peleando en la Champions. Eh, no sé lo que es jugar bonito. Para mí es estar ahí y pelear por títulos. El Atlético lo está haciendo. El año pasado ganó la liga, entonces ya sabemos que obviamente cuando vas ganando partidos, cuando vas primero, es todo muy bonito y nada te contesta la manera como juegas. Cuando no va tan bien, te quedas ahí un poco más atrás de los otros, todos son problemas. Por eso yo creo que lo que está haciendo Simeone en los últimos años del Atlético, yo creo que por lo que ha hecho él, el Atlético hoy en día es mucho más respetado en Europa de lo que era antes. Igual que era un equipo muy grande ya, desde que llegó Simeone va mucho más respetado de lo que antes.
John Murray.
Hello, Ralph. I just wonder, on a personal basis, what does it mean for you to be able to coach in the knockout stages of the Champions League again? Was there maybe a time where you thought that this time wouldn't come again? And also, when it comes to coaching against Diego Simeone's teams, are there things that you have to consider that perhaps you wouldn't with other teams and other coaches?
I mean, yes, Bruno. I can hear myself now. Sorry. I think Bruno quite rightly said enough about Diego Simeone. In those 11 years, he won trophies with a clear identity, with a recognizable playing style. And I don't think that this has changed in the last years. It's always an emotional side, and this also reflects the character of the manager. Diego Simeone is probably one of the most emotional managers in Europe, and the style and the way that his teams have always performed reflects those emotions that he always tries to bring into the team, and this is what it's all about. We need to match the level of emotions and of energy in both games. And this is what we will have to be aware, and I will try to prepare our team, my team, exactly for that kind of challenge. It will be physical, it will be emotional. We have to be mentally strong, both in both games, even more so tomorrow when we play away. And we haven't played against each other as yet, but I've always admired what he has achieved in 11 years with Atletico. I think he changed that club completely into one of the most respected clubs in Europe. And as I said, I'm looking forward to those two games that we're playing.
We'll go to the last two. The first for Laurie Whitwell and the last one for Paul Hurst.
A question for Bruno, please. United have played a few different systems this season, currently a 4-3-3. I just wondered how involved do the players get, such as yourself, in that kind of thing, in discussion with the manager? And also just a quick question on Cristiano. He's won this competition 5 times. He's scored some really important goals this season already. What's he been like this week when it comes to knockout stages?
So about the formation, no one has to worry about more than the coach and the staff. I think we have to follow what the manager and the staff think that is the best way for us, and that is the most important. And here in this club, I never heard someone complain about the tactics, and I hope no one do that, because it's not respectful on the coach ideas, because I think we have been doing so well since he arrived. We have more identity as a team, I think, and obviously, as you said before, Cristiano won this competition many times, and everyone knows in this kind of competitions, yes, he has that smell for the goal, he has that smell for doing different things. But at the same way, we have Rafa that have won the Champions League also, I think, for 4 times. That is a player also that is capable to do, but is always a first time for someone that wins. So sometimes it's about someone that have more experience, sometimes it's about someone that experienced that for the first time, because they are hungry to do something well, something good. They want to show it, because Cristiano, when he won the first one, obviously he probably was not the most influential player, or you can say that have more experience in that competition, and he won it anyway, and he helped the team won the Champions League. So it's all about everyone has to stick together, doing the same things, have the same focus, and obviously having players that can decide games for us in any moment is always helpful. And being Cristiano or another one, the most important for us is winning the game and going through this stage.
Paul Hurst.
Hi, Ralph. You spoke a minute ago about Simeone and the fact that he's been here for 11 years and he's developed a club style, won lots of trophies, got to 2 Champions League finals. Do you think it's important for United in their next appointment as their next manager to have someone who can do that, can be in position for a long time and develop a style? Because for the last few years, they've chopped and changed since Alex left.
Yeah, but as I said earlier on, this is a question not for now. This is a question for the summer. Our full focus is on the present situation and the present tense, on the Champions League tomorrow and the Premier League in the last 12 games, and all the other issues have to wait until the end of the season.
Thank you very much, everyone. That concludes the press conference.